Hello everybody and welcome back to Victoria 3, where we may have gone a little bit overkill on our construction. I'm not sure. We'll find out. I mean, our number of unemployment has been dramatically increasing. I'm not sure how much of that, though, is due to... Like, the difference here, the question is that unemployment increasing due to more jobs being created, which we're definitely creating a lot of jobs right now. There's no doubt about that. Is that due to more jobs being, or actually fewer jobs being created, wouldn't it? It would be fewer jobs being created. Interesting. My point is entirely moot. I was thinking about it backwards. Now, we do have some low market access in a few locations, and we will deal with that, for sure. We'll get rid of those inactive trade routes, and is this actually the number here? I know we're pretty heavily in debt, or going pretty heavily in debt, and that does appear to be the actual number. Now, a huge amount of that is our subsidies. That's like half of it. Noted. We're running an input goods shortage of engines. That'll do the trick. So we're going to immediately import what engines we can. We need a lot of convoys. Our convoys are very, very negative. Noted. Okay, so we can't build more ports. Okay. We'll create those trade routes, and we'll need to do something about our motor industries. Were those fully employed? No. No, they are not. I think our problem is... Where are our unemployed? That's a question that I have here. So if we go to Franconia, for example, we can see that we have 34.7k unemployed here. Down in Bavaria, 80k. 125k in Württemberg. Baden has 50k. But Brunswick only has 500. That said, Brandenburg has 243,000. So are we just having a qualifications issue here for our motor industries? What are we looking for here? Primarily laborers, I think. Capitalists, but mostly engineers and machinists. Okay, so if we look at our qualifications here, we have qualifications for engineers and machinists. Okay, I'm probably reading this wrong in some way. So we're continuing to increase our amount of construction. No doubt about that. If things get too bad financially, we can always enact some consumption taxes. And that may not be a bad idea. 246k from wine. 235k from luxury goods. I like it. Luxury furniture, 183k. Liquor, 86k. Opium, 89.3k. What else do we have here? Porcelain, sure. We can get two more. So probably something like radios and sugar. Okay, so that's boosting our income dramatically. That's by no means turning us around, but we would be turned around if we weren't doing this crazy amount of construction. We're going to have a bunch of that finishing up soon enough. So that's good. We're working on war machine factories, as well as a bunch of synthetics plants. I want to check in here on what this event is. A well-acclaimed troupe of wandering artists has arrived at Pomerania, followed by hundreds of requests about our generous government funding one of their concerts. Their lyrics... No, you wouldn't understand it. Only the saddest and deepest souls are able to dive into their hearts, wide open before us through those piano notes. Their songs talk about solitude, incomprehension, the lack of a serene place to retreat to. They truly capture the sorrows of a teenage soul. How would you understand it? So we could fund them and gain 10% prestige. Or not care. And that's what we're going to do. Fantastic. So, all of these constructions are going to start wrapping up, and I'm hoping that that turns around our finances here. It should. Yeah, it definitely should. So we're nowhere near capped out on our construction, right? We have a lot of available construction here, and that's going to continue to increase as people get employed. So our unemployed are currently at 1.44 million, and I'm hoping to see that number begin to drop. 1.46 million. Now, it's still possible that that number is going up because of the minimum wage that we instituted. That's a possibility. 1.53 million. Now, note how we're about to cap off our credit here. We're going to need to pause our construction, and we can certainly do that right now. So our construction is paused, and now we're making money, and we are spending down our credit. But more importantly, we're building up our investment pool. So we're going to let that go for a little while, and we're just not going to construct for a couple of ticks here. But I'm very concerned about this market access falling. Yes, I'm very concerned about that. Okay, we need to look into this. So our market access here is falling due to our infrastructure outstripping our construction. Okay, noted. So we just need to make sure that our construction is prioritizing right now. Not the synthetics plants, not the arms industries, but rather these railways. So that is top priority. Cool. Now we are going to be finishing up these constructions fairly soon here. A lot of these synthetics plants are going to be finishing. 1.91 million. And we're currently in default, which I suppose that would make sense with our falling market access. Okay. We need to see here. Yeah, that unemployment is currently skyrocketing, and our GDP is plummeting, which is causing us to be in this default. Okay. So we need to get out of this default right now. Consider it done. We need to get caught up on that. And we're no longer in default. Now we're going to resume our construction queue here. We need to finish up a lot of this. Specifically, we need to get these railways built. That is the absolute top priority. Everything else in this is kind of irrelevant, to be honest. I was hoping that our construction wouldn't cost quite this much, but here we are. Okay, so we entered default again, and that's certainly problematic. So we need to pay this down a little bit more. Cool. Our government wages is $1 million right now, and that's on minimum government wages. Wow. Okay. We should probably take a look in our buildings here. Let's see. We are running these at minimum. If we look at our, let's see, our government industry, or our government administrations here, we're on telephone switchboards. That should be fine. We could think about going to a secular administration. That would hurt us, I think, ultimately. So let's pay down our credit here a little bit. But what we really need to do is get these railways built. I wish that we could pause specific portions of our construction. That would be really nice. Unfortunately, we just can't. So we're going to tick forward here and finish up some of these synthetics plants. Okay, that's interesting. I don't think that these actually ticked there. That's very interesting. So, what do we need to do here? Well, we need to address our market access issue. So, first things first, we need to get our subsidies dropped down. What is costing us so much in railways? Our railways are crazy expensive right now. And it's engines. Okay. We're not a significant producer of engines. That's interesting. Because we don't have motor industries produced. We're short on clippers, dye, sugar, rubber, and oil. Okay. Noted. We're going to tick forward a bit here. And our radicals are going to be going up. That's very clear. That's obviously going to be the case. So our market access drops off so quickly here, but we need to get our subsidies costs down. More specifically, what we need to do is we need to go into our construction, and we need to just cancel some of these synthetics plants. If they are here or lower in terms of how complete they are, we're just going to cancel them. This is overbuilt, and we definitely need to get this out of here. There's no doubt about that. So we're canceling all of these synthetics plants, and we're not going to work on them. The arms industries are maybe another story. Yeah, everything else here should be another story. If we resume this, we should still be quite positive. Cool. So we'll get that underway. We're making money, and we should, in theory, be getting our market access back up soon. Yes. That should solve the problem. We were just overbuilding our dye industries, and we knew that that was a possibility. So we're paying down our debt right now. Our subsidies are really expensive. But we really do need to get people moved into our... Yeah, we just have so much unemployment right now. We need to get people moved into our motor industries. Which I think might mean that we need to subsidize our motor industries. Yeah, I think that's what needs to happen here. So we're going to go into our buildings here. And we're going to subsidize our motor industries. There we go. So now, in theory, we should be expecting to see our unemployment begin to drop. 2.56. 2.57. Still going up. Oh, 2.50. $2.51. Okay, it's kind of holding firm here. Kind of. We're not constructing a ton at this moment. And yeah, we overbuilt our construction. We knew that that was probably going to be the case. I'm just trying to feel out what's a good level of construction. This is, I think, too much. We could even downsize our construction sectors if we wanted to. That's probably not a bad call. Downsize all of these down to, say, 30. Like that. That's going to make some people upset. I'm not shocked about that one. Okay. So that should make things slightly better for us. 2 million in subsidies right now. Yeah, now we're dipping into the negative. Our subsidies are just so expensive. So what is the motor industries having trouble with? Because engines are super expensive, but it's the oil. It is the oil. We just can't get more oil. I mean, we can import a little bit, but we need so much more oil. So much more oil. That's what it comes down to. So if that's the case, then we may be required here to back off our motor industries off of diesel engines and put it onto electric engines again, and then de-subsidize this. That's still apparently not making money. We do need automobiles still. Assembly lines is consuming oil. We'll back off to rotary valve engines. Okay, now we're suddenly making money. But yeah, it's insane how much oil we need. We need so much oil. And we just can't get it. We're pretty much going to have to start like a diplomatic play over here if we want to get more oil. And we absolutely do want to get more oil, for the record. We have no possible diplomatic plays here. I'm wondering here, Indonesia versus Austria? Irrelevant. Okay. So we'll tick on forward there. How are we doing on our market access? It is improving. That's good. So we're just auto-expanding for now. And what are our subsidies doing? They are chilling. Okay. So yeah, it all comes down to that oil price. That's what we've got going on here. This oil shortage, it's a huge problem. Actually, our biggest usage of oil is tooling workshops. But we barely produce oil. Like, this feels like it's nothing. 3.87k. And there's no way that we can optimize that. Because if we go down to our oil rigs here, this is all we've got. Combustion oil derrick, or engine derricks. It's 5.5k total. And tanker cars. Which really I don't think is necessary, but it does reduce our number of laborers. So that seems fine. And then we're at privately owned right now. We should probably switch that over to publicly traded, but that's fine. Theoretically, motor industries, should they also be publicly traded? Yes, they should. We really do need the engine production, but we just can't afford the oil. So our tooling workshops. What is being used here that is consuming so much oil? Assembly lines? Okay, we'll swap that over to rotary valves as well. Cool. So that should reduce our dependency on oil. In theory. Cool. Okay, and we're working on paying down our debt here. No doubt about that. And we're also working on getting all of these railways finished up. So we've got dye, oil, and rubber as our input goods shortages. We've got unused construction production. Realistically, I think we can downsize our construction even further. We're just trying to feel out what we want. And to be honest, I want about 2,000. I think 2,000 is sufficient. So this is going to create some radicals. But I'm just targeting 2,000 construction here. Honestly, I don't think that it's a problem of we're not building enough. I think it's a problem of our buildings are just not very profitable. And that's probably due to that minimum wage, is my guess. The interesting thing here is that the game isn't telling us that. So if we go into our buildings here, it probably says in here somewhere, but we look into the motor industries here, and we look in, say, Pomerania, right? Cash reserves of 0. Wages of 29.1k. And this is outputting 27.3k worth of engines. Yeah, steel costs are actually a big deal here, too. So perhaps we should consider dropping the cost of steel by building additional steel mills. I feel like that's not a bad idea. So we're just going to build these all up to multiples of 5. And 3 here, and 4 here, 4 here, and 2 here. Okay, so we'll just do something like that. Cool. That'll drop some of those costs. And hopefully give us a place to put some of these unemployed. These roughly 2 million unemployed people, that's a big part of the reason why our GDP isn't going the way I'd like it to. We've got still 500,000 peasants, so overall, we've got about 3 million workers here that are not going into the workforce. And I have to assume that it's due to qualifications, because we've definitely... Yeah, these guys are currently downsizing, I think. Well, we're currently hiring here. We're hiring here, of course. So we just have a lot of places that require high levels of education, I think. Pretty sure that's what's going on here. So like our arms industries here, they're hiring, but they're not hiring out of these pools because the qualifications, I believe, are not there. So what do we do about the qualifications? Well, for one thing, bringing up the literacy would help. Our literacy has dropped a little bit. But bringing that up would be beneficial. Now, we are already running in our education as high as we can, which is here. Unfortunately, we can't get any higher than this right now. So if we were to think about increasing access to education, how would we do that? We're already on public schools. We need more education, not less. So what else could we do here? We could go to compulsory primary school. We can't do any of this, though. Through support from either an interest group in government, a political movement, or your ruler's ideology. Okay, so we'd like to move our way down to compulsory private school, or primary school, I think. Yes, that would be what we'd want to do. That would be the ideal scenario. We can't do that currently, though. So I guess that's okay for now. We do have an election coming up here, and how are people doing? This is much closer between the Conservative Party and the Free-Minded People's Party. So what's our legitimacy at now? We're a contested government. Okay, fair enough. Fair enough indeed. So we're dropping off our finances here, and our GDP has recovered pretty thoroughly. Our radicals are going to start dropping off a bit. But we need to wait for our GDP to come up here before that will really happen. So that's fine. Looking through this, our market access is still a bit of an issue. We do have a bunch of unproductive trade routes, which we will go ahead and get rid of. There we go. But what we really need to do right now is get these unemployed to work. We've got plenty of jobs and plenty of unemployment, which means that I have to assume that it's a qualifications issue. Otherwise, things seem to be fine. So we're 79% literate. What else can we do for qualifications? So if we go, say, over to, I don't want to look at our capital region, but say Westphalia here. If we look at Westphalia and look at our motor industries here, this is actually fully employed. Okay, noted. This motor industry is not making money right now. And that is, of course, due to our oil shortage. An oil shortage would help a lot if we got that dealt with. I mean, we could get another 30 oil, I suppose, but it really isn't much. It really isn't much. So, the Netherlands. We could think about doing some sort of a diplomatic play here and trying to take over this state, which this state does have access to a good number of oil rigs. 30, in fact. So that'd be like 3,000 oil. That's not bad. Other states in the area with access to oil. Are there any? Just checking through here and looking to find out. Is there a resource map mode? So like trade lens, but probably we'd want to be on like production lens. Go over into resources. Yeah, it doesn't really say here. Okay. So Bremen doesn't... Actually, Bremen does have access to a few oil rigs. Not very many, but that does mean that we want them. Of course, we can't get them because of Scandinavia. We could think about fighting Scandinavia, but right now is maybe not the time for that. Checking in over here. Okay. And then Austria. Does Austria produce oil? I don't know. Maybe. Hard maybe there. Luxembourg? No. Strasbourg? No. Anything in Belgium? No. Okay. So it's pretty much just this. Who would be upset if we did this? They're in a personal union under the Netherlands, or Luxembourg is. They owe an obligation to Belgium. Okay. So if we were to conquer Friesland, we would face Netherlands and Luxembourg. We would have Hohenzollern there, and Great Britain, Russia, France, Austria, Saxony, Great King, United Syndicates of America, Scandinavia, Spain, Belgium. Those may join either side or remain neutral. Okay. We definitely need to expand our oil. There's no doubt about that. And this right here, it's a very tempting target. It is, however, time to put a cut in here, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. And next episode, we are going to look at potentially doing something about that. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and a very special thank you to all of the channel members for making this video possible, including Casserole, ALS Gamer, Kentuin, James, Shadowwolf, MLohan80, Spartan News, Nick Smarty, Video Games Are Not Real, Dimitri H, Punching the Microphone, Unisil, Kadra, Rogue Corvid, and all the rest. And of course, you. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, you can click the join button down below the video, and as always, I will see you all next time.